Hi, my name is Lee Raagas. I'm the CEO of Skid Row Housing Trust, and I'm welcoming you to our FLOR 401 virtual opening on the corner of 7th and Wall. We're really excited about this opportunity to bring this online during this time. You know, obviously we are in this environment of COVID, we're in this environment around HHH, so bringing this solution to this community is really a big deal for us. There's two premises that we work with. It's design equity, which is very important to bringing thoughtful, meaningful, wonderful homes to all communities so that it's equitable, and then also providing services to those that move in, so the 99 new residents that are coming in will be able to get these wraparound services for their future success. I want to thank our real estate development team for bringing this, and all of our financing and agency partners, and making sure that something like this was brought to fruition. So welcome to our virtual opening, and thank you, Sierra, and I'm going to turn it over to her now.
Hi, my name is Sierra Atilano, and I'm the Chief Real Estate and Investment Officer at Skid Row Housing Trust. FLOR 401 Lofts was a project that was started several years ago in conjunction with our architect and development team, looking at a vision that would help to bring our unhoused neighbors home. This project is located in the heart of Skid Row. It was an awardee of HCID-LA's Measure HHH. Thank you to the voters who saw the need. Specifically, we're housing veterans and those that are experiencing homelessness and chronic homelessness, which to date, there's over 6,000 residents within Skid Row that are experiencing homelessness. This project will help to bring at least 99 of them home. Our partners at Morley and Benchmark, our contractor, really did an amazing job. The project, when it was originally started, but prior to the pandemic, was 2 months ahead of schedule and was coming in under budget of well over $2 million. And by the way, this is savings that goes back to our state, to our city, and to our county funders when we spend less on projects. So often you're hearing about how expensive affordable housing is, and in this particular project, we all made it a commitment to bring the project in under budget. And then we had, a worldwide pandemic hit, and we had to band together to figure out ways to how we completed construction in the middle of a pandemic, something no one has ever been through before. When all of us in mid-March were told to work from home, and we were at a stay-at-home orders both federally and locally, construction was considered an essential business, and they were allowed to continue to work. We had crews that showed up that were double the capacity of what it was prior to the pandemic hitting, and simply because the entire group really band together to say, you know what, this is an extraordinary time in which we need to continue our mission, and that is to continue our projects and to make sure that we got people out of the streets and into homes. There's many times where we couldn't get supplies that were on the East Coast or coming from other countries, and we're stuck in transit. We had all sorts of obstacles that we needed to go through. Many of our meetings ended with, we're doing this to get people housed, which at this period of time was about saving lives. And that is really how the entire team felt. I get goosebumps even thinking about some of those meetings, because that's exactly how our entire team band together to get this project done. And I'm happy to say that we came in only a month behind schedule, considering everything that we went through in the pandemic, and we were still under budget by $1.5 million. I have to commend my entire real estate development team for pushing through during the pandemic. We have several members that work on pre-development projects as well as projects in construction. And the amount of work that it took to figure out solutions for all the various things that none of us had ever experienced before, both in supply chain demand and COVID protocols that had to be put forth, and my entire staff band together to help out those that were in construction and the project managers that needed assistance during that time, as well as myself in managing the department. And I just want to say that they did an amazing job, and I just want to congratulate them on this project. I want to thank Skid Row Housing Trust Board of Directors, and specifically our Real Estate Development Committee.
Hello, I'm Mayor Eric Garcetti. When Los Angeles voters overwhelmingly passed Proposition HHH 4 years ago, they knew that homelessness would not be solved overnight, but they saw the tents under our freeways. They felt the souls on our streets and the urgency of this crisis and this moment. So instead of standing by, Angelenos stood up to address the humanitarian emergency, to radically reshape the future of our city with 10,000 new units of permanent, supportive housing. Today, we're taking one step closer to realizing that vision as we celebrate the opening of FLOR 401 Lofts. Located in Skid Row, the epicenter of our homelessness crisis, FLOR 401 Lofts provides 98 new homes for our most vulnerable neighbors, including 49 homes for veterans experiencing homelessness. This project opens a pathway to healing and hope and a safe place to call home, a place to stay, to recover, to rebuild, to reimagine a prosperous and a stable life, to renew the promise of better days ahead. At FLOR 401 Lofts, every resident is safe, is supported, and every individual has access to critical services and therapeutic community spaces like a beautiful interior courtyard. This is one of 43 HHH financed projects under Los Angeles currently under construction. And I want to thank and congratulate Skid Row Housing Trust on the completion of this project, their first building to open with HHH funding that they've done. I also want to recognize the full development and construction team who worked tirelessly through the challenges of a pandemic to get this project over the finish line and to bring Angelenos off the streets and into a dignified home. We're going to finish HHH under budget and ahead of schedule, and you're helping us get there. So on behalf of a City of Angels, thank you for being angels and for all you have done.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm honored to be in this celebration today with you to welcome our unhoused family, friends, and neighbors to their new home here at FLOR 401 Lofts. Just as it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a community to support our unhoused neighbors. And it takes a collaboration among our teams to make housing sites like this come to life. I want to thank Lee and her dynamic team at Skid Row Housing Trust for their hard work to build this site, for their ongoing commitment to creating a sense of belonging and community for all the individuals who will be welcomed home today. I applaud Skid Row Housing Trust for not only their belief, but their practice and action of housing people first. They create these quality places for our unhoused neighbors on the premise that everyone deserves to be housed and that each person has their unique and distinct path to wellness and well-being. This is something that I believe and take action on as well. Housing, having stability with a home is foundational for each person in our community. In 2019, through our LA County rehousing programs, we supported almost 23,000 people to move into a permanent home. Although we still have a long way to go on our mission to house all of our county residents who've been priced out of our housing market, we must take these opportunities to create and celebrate while we keep a laser focus on our commitment. Our responsibility is to support our neighbors on their journey to be housed and stay focused. One site at a time, one man, woman, and child at a time, we will end the housing crisis. Throughout our county, we have over 10,000 homes underway. They are either in construction or close to starting construction for individuals and families currently without a home. As the newest member of the LA County Board of Supervisors, proudly representing the 2nd District, I'm looking forward to continue to work with Skid Row Housing Trust as I have the past 10 years I served in the legislature, and to have high quality community developments that provide housing and services to our district residents. I started this message by saying it takes a team, a village, and it really does. FLOR 401 Lofts has over 11 finance partners, including our team at the LA County Development Authority. I want to thank our county staff for working with Skid Row Housing Trust on this community development. I hope that with each new housing site, with each person's smile when they move into their new home, when they look at this amazing yellow wall, that each one of us holds that joyous and unforgettable feeling. I hope that all of you joining us today are motivated to bring a few more family, friends, and neighbors along with us on this mission to provide homes for everyone. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations to Skid Row Housing Trust, our partners in this fight, and to all of our new housed community residents.
Yes, this is a nice place to stay. Yes, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and I've slept pretty good since I've been here for 2 months. And I appreciate it, and I just got to keep doing positive, keep obeying the law of the land, and keep following things that you're supposed to be following and stay out of bad situations.
Me and you both. That's what I get up and say to myself every morning. This is true. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a state of the art here.
Yeah.
And the air is real good in here. You got a patio here, you got good staff here, you got a good team here, you got people who actually care, and you don't have a lot of breakdown here, as far as maintenance of a living situation. This would be accepted for the next 50, 100 years.
I agree. And just looking at that yellow wall would make me happy every day.
Mm-hmm.
I love that color. It's nice to meet you.
Okay.
All right.
Go get your shot, man. We're so happy for you. Thanks for staying. Bye, thank you.
Are you going to get his vaccination?
He is.
Good for you. Your vaccination. Go ahead with your bad self. Okay. Good for you. Good for you.
It feels good to live here, it feels accepted, and it feels to be liked by others that's in the surrounding here. I've made a lot of improvement since I've actually been here. I have a case manager by the name of Asia Jackson and also Ina. They have basically been on my side. They have came to me. You have good managers, you have good staff here, you have a good team here. I was very young. I was at the age of 11 and I started taking acid. I started going in communities where I didn't know people. I started being socially accepted as being a narcotic user. And it was basically being given to me, not looked at, what some of the consequences is, and it started burning up a lot of my brain cells. I had been staying in different areas in Los Angeles and I had been sleeping on the streets. It was a lot of hospital admissions. I needed to continue to follow treatment and I was going back and forth, like drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana in the streets, and I didn't really get my life together. I was admitted in UCLA, UCLA Medical Center quite a few times, and the times that I was admitted there, they gave me resources. I went to the Wilderness Center and then I interviewed there, and then had received counseling group therapy there, and then I continued to see the psychiatrist there. So that was a help, and that's been over 2.5 years. So I've been on medication over 2.5 years. And I keep being a productive person and stay away from, bad things in the community. I like to draw, I can ride a bicycle, I like to socialize with people, I like to go places. Anything that keep my mind motivated. I know that I'm suffering from mental illness. It may not seem like it. My appearance may seem to be, he's okay, but I know I'm suffering, but I'll be okay. Just don't go back and use nothing.
Hi, I'm Brian Lane. I'm a principal at Koning Eizenberg Architecture. Koning Eizenberg, back in 1989, did some of their first projects for Skid Row Housing Trust. Back in the day with Mike Alvidrez, we did one of the first standalone, ground-up construction on Skid Row that had been built in 30 years, and that was in 1989. It was called the Simone. The model completely flipped between 1989 and what we do now for permanent supportive housing. One is the services are on site. They used to not be on site. So now we have all those kinds of things that support the tenants, and they're all on site. Second, the unit typology completely changed. They became studios with bathrooms, with kitchens, fully accessible ADA-wise. And the part that I think wasn't talked about as much as it is now is the social aspects of the community that you're creating. So in this project, that is where everything starts for us. So we're standing in the courtyard of this building. This is one of the few buildings on Skid Row that has a courtyard at ground level. And as we move up the building, it's all about these outdoor spaces. So at the second level, there's a courtyard as well, surrounded by communal laundries and rooms and multi-purpose rooms and things like that. And the circulation of how you move around buildings is also a social aspect, and it also creates a neighborhood. You see your fellow tenants and neighbors as you move throughout the building. And then at the kind of circulation element in this building culminates up at the roof, where there's a vegetable garden with city views, better than many buildings downtown. And this building has probably a little more kitchen cabinetry than some of the other ones we've done. Under-counter cabinet lights, which I think is a detail that people notice. The other thing that people notice quite often, that the bathrooms are huge. People perceive that bathroom as a luxury. And what they do with that extra square footage is they put other items within the bathroom that you might not normally find. This building has communication features, you know, so if you have a hearing or a sight things, all of those kinds of areas of the ADA are pretty well covered here. We try and keep the walls as clear as possible of other items so that you can furnish the unit and arrange things the way you like. The layout of the unit allows you to put the bed in 3 spots. And window sizes. These windows are generous, they're large, and they have good views, they have good light. We think that architecture and design specifically, we have a lot to contribute to an area that doesn't get the proper attention always. It's like the area that needs us the most gets the least attention. Everyone understands that design has value and that design thinking and innovation is the way these projects need to develop. And how can we as design thinkers and architects make someone feel welcome and make someone feel like they're at home?
When you walk through the open doors of the building, there's a nice hello sign on the bottom in gold, and it's meant to really bring the community, the outside community in, and to experience what quiet tranquility could be really in the heart of Skid Row. And that's really what you'll see within the design of the building, is designed really to make our neighbors, our unhoused neighbors, feel like home. And that's in every aspect of the design. You'll see it from the colors that were chosen, the way that the angles of the windows sit within Skid Row. You have some beautiful views in some of the units that just really take you away from the living that they were experiencing in and around Skid Row and being unhoused.
Come on in.
All right. Oh, wow.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's a very good space for all of our residents to enjoy, you know. We've got computer station here that will have state-of-the-art computers, and my staff will be running computer groups so that they can learn how to maneuver the computer. And we have our community space here where we will do our community groups, and in that community group we give them information about stuff that's happening within the community, stuff that's happening with property management. So it's a good space for everybody to enjoy. The space back here, we're going to have our state-of-the-art TV. I'm hoping that it's a very large one where we will do movie groups and things of that nature. Most of our residents that have moved in and have seen the space love it. We also plan to do a cooking group as well. So we have that space there to teach the residents how to cook on a budget.
I mean, another thing good about this project is that you guys have another project next door. Yeah. So there's a real neighborhood that the trust is made here. And
well, we're like a block and a half from the Abbey.
Yeah.
And
right.
we're
and
like a block and a half from the Rainbow and the Star. So yeah, I mean, I think the spatial arrangement of these buildings sort of says where the problem is the most challenging is where we've done our best work, really.
I think what you did at the Trust, quite honestly, is you raised people's consciousness about the value of design. Whereas, like, when we started in '89 with you guys, we had the consciousness, but it wasn't something that the public was aware of. And I think once you started to put it out there and really kind of talk about design has value, these projects are going to be designed well, and we're going to use design to bring new ideas to supportive housing. That message was really strong, and it's taken off. So now it's easier for people like us to go around and go, yeah, this is where we think we can bring value, to raise the bar each time.
So here's our studio canvas.
This is beautiful, Sierra. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh, look at these drawers and the handles. This is so perfect for me. I love it. And wow, look at the view. in 2 directions. This is nice. This is really nice. You know, it really shows, wow, it really shows the need for these buildings in this city.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous view from the 6th floor, but you know, you see 649 Lofts across the street and the clinic that's going to be opening soon, but you also see the need for affordable housing just in the same view from up here.
Absolutely, the people on the street, I mean, what a change in their lives to be able to lift up from that street into one of these places and be able to really expand what they think is possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and my gosh, there's a closet that is so perfect for me. I mean, I hardly ever see anything like this that I can reach to hang up my clothes. This is fantastic.
Something so little but means so much. I can't imagine having to struggle to reach up to put clothes up or down, or some of the struggles that you'd have to use if you didn't have a lowered dowel stick.
This is really forward thinking.
We try to just do those little touches to make a big difference.
You're way, you know, you all have done way beyond compliance, which is really what people with disabilities want.
Well, that means a lot for us because it's been a lot of hard work to get there. So I want to show you this.
Oh, look at this. Oh, this, you know, you all have created every inch of perfection in this place.
There was somebody that was inspecting the unit that was in a wheelchair, and she rolled in and noticed that when she transitioned from the wheelchair to the bench, that it was a little bit off. And so even though the project was up to code at that point, we went in and redid all of the floors and the showers just to make sure that there wasn't any unevenness when somebody was actually using it, which is important to us, right? It's not just about meeting code, but it's about making sure that it's usable for every person.
Every bit of this is super safe. And to have a bench like this fold down right here perfectly in alignment with the handles to turn the water on and off is something that I hardly ever see in a hotel. When I'm in a hotel, oftentimes the bench is over here and the handles to do everything is on the opposite wall. It's because they don't get that information ahead of time from someone who has an authentic lived experience, right?
It's important.
Makes such a difference.
Yeah.
And you went not just the extra mile, but an extra marathon.
It's nothing like the things you've done.
Absolutely. Oh, this is so beautiful.
My name is Ina Fenderson, and I am a peer advocate here at Skid Row Housing Trust, and I like to look at myself as a go-between for our residents to their case manager. Let's say they find it difficult to talk with their case manager, or maybe their case manager isn't available, then they're always welcome to come to me and talk with me. I can listen to them if they have to vent, or if they have a problem, like let's say they may need a fax, or they might need some information on food pantries, or where can I go get a phone? What's the cable company for this area? So I just look to myself as an extra layer of support to their care team. So we are here on the 6th floor in this wonderful garden. We have 6 lovely bins. We have tomatoes, we have rosemary, we have some peppers growing. And so I said, this is a great spot to meditate in because we're out here with nature and we're with the wind and the sun. I usually start with a meditation that they pick, and our meditation today focused on nourishment for the mind, body, and soul. And it was a 15-minute meditation. I would like to see us do a yoga class out here. We do have a person that does yoga. Her name is Amanda. She's wonderful. I love this outdoor space, and the residents love this outdoor space, and I can see a lot of groups happening in this space. I would love to see that gardening group, and I also would like to see a book club, because to me this would be a cool place to sit down and just read and just have, you know, conversation conversations about the book. So I could totally see a lot of different things happening in this space. And then I'm even thinking about doing a low impact exercise group. It's perfect. It's so quaint and cozy and warm. And I just feel so one with nature, just enjoying this space.
I'm Mike Stone, Vice President of Benchmark Contractors, subsidiary of Morley Builders. This is the first project that we've had to manage through a pandemic, and it couldn't have been with a better group of people. Before the pandemic started, we had an amazing team, collaboration between Skid Row Housing Trust, the architect, construction manager, and when the pandemic hit, everybody rolled up their sleeves and found ways to work through the process. We'd have our weekly team meetings, and the running joke was, well, we've never built through a pandemic before, and what's on the table for this week? So some of the challenges we ran into were supply chain issues. We're coming towards the finishes. We ran into trouble with appliances being readily available as factories shut down back east, specialty doors and hardware not being available. And the team really worked hard together, scrambled to find alternate solutions, alternate manufacturers that could get the product here in time for us. We also had challenges working with the field crews, keeping them safe, healthy, socially distanced, and allowing them to be productive in the completion of the project. Morley Builders has a strong and long-lasting relationship with Skid Row Housing Trust. We really believe in their mission and what they bring to the neighborhoods, and we're really proud to be a partner in that. The relationship on any project starts during pre-construction, where we work with them to establish budgets and do constructability reviews. So when we're ready to build the project in the field, we have a plan and we can execute the plan and deliver the affordable housing on time and under budget. And what really resonates for me is when I get to hear about the people moving in and hear about their story, the obstacles they've overcome, their resiliency, and how proud they are to be able to live here. And it always makes this process so much more enjoyable at the end to see that and what the tenants feel as well as what the team feels in this accomplishment. On behalf of Morley Builders, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Lee and Sierra on the grand opening of this beautiful building. It's left an indelible footprint on the neighborhood already, and I know it'll keep positive responses for years to come.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Lewis. It was a rough, traumatizing time, being who I am as a black transgender female, trying to survive out here in downtown Los Angeles. But moving in here has been the most blessing thing in the world for me. Every day I walk in, I smile because I tell myself, this is mine, you know. I grew up, you know, at 13 on my own. When I started using, my life just spiraled down, and I ended up down here, and it just got worse. I was incarcerated for 17 years, and amongst my paroling, this is where they put me. I was never used to living out like that on Skid Row in a tent, you know, trying to survive, figure out where I was gonna shower, make sure when the next time I'm gonna have a meal, you know, when I'm gonna be able to have clean clothes. And when I got referred to Project 180, which is a mental health substance abuse program, like I said, I was rebellious with it. I didn't want the treatment, I didn't care, you know, I didn't want to be a part of it. And, you know, they wouldn't give up, no matter how much I fought back, you know. And it took them 2.5 years, you know, and helped me and bounced me from shelter to sober living homes to, you know, being out on homeless. They didn't give up. And when they told me about 401, I was so ecstatic because I walked past this place day in and day out and watched it be built, you know, and I never thought I would end up here. My fiance calls it the Bel Air of downtown Skid Row. And, you know, I have a lot of friends that I invite over, you know, throughout my days, and, you know, I cook for them, or, you know, they come over and, you know, they cook for me. It's the most amazing thing to be able to go shopping, buy the things that you enjoy eating, and to make meals that you enjoy doing. And look around and say, you know, every day, this is me, this is mine. You know, I don't have to worry about nobody telling me to get out. I don't have to worry about nobody attacking me. I don't have to worry about nobody telling me you can't be in this area. You know, it's my safety zone.
Hello, my name is Duke Cook, and I'm with Eminent Resources, and I was the construction manager for the FLOR 401 Lofts project. For me, this project has certainly come full circle. I was involved in the acquisition nearly 5 years ago, and to watch this building become what it is on a week-by-week basis that will ultimately become home to 98 individuals who desperately need permanent supportive housing is a real blessing. I feel very fortunate to be a part of what Skid Row Housing Trust is doing in the city of Los Angeles, specifically Central City East, Skid Row. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who is involved in this project from the very beginning to the very end. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and thank you for all of your hard work and your commitment and efforts.
Hello, my name is Mark Rasmussen, and I am the Executive Vice President of the California Community Reinvestment Corporation. It's my honor and privilege to congratulate the Skid Row Housing Trust on the opening and completion of FLOR 401 Lofts in downtown Los Angeles. This development of 99 units for formerly homeless and low-income individuals is a classic example of public-private partnership coming together to create a revitalization of the Skid Row housing area. The City of Los Angeles, the County of Los Angeles, and the State of California have all provided capital in helping this project come to fruition. I'd like to also thank U.S. Bank as construction lender, and who is also a longtime supporter and investor in CCRC, as well as the National Equity Fund for their purchase of the low-income housing tax credits. So once again, congratulations to the trust, and more importantly, congratulations to the individuals who will call this project home in the coming days.
Well, as you know, Sierra, we've been looking for property anywhere we could afford to buy something in which to build permanent supportive housing. This site was the former location of a craft store. Surprising as that may be, it was this gaudy looking blue and yellow building with almost no customers that we could ever see, nor anybody in the parking lot. So, you know, we had our own thoughts about what that meant, but we assumed that they were not doing a terrific business at that location and with a number of potential customers. So we made an offer on the property. The people who ran the craft store owned it, and so we thought we could get a good deal. And ultimately, after a lot of negotiating with them, we finally closed the deal. And man, I can't tell you how happy I was to see that building torn down, because I knew what we were going to put up at that time. We already had our preliminary designs, finished, and so the idea of changing that dreadful building into a beautiful one that would also house, more than 100 residents was just, a dream come true. So that's how it happened.
So how close is the rendering? I know when you work on pre-development, you kind of work as a team and you come up with all these ideas of what you envision the project to look like.
Yeah.
I know looking at the renderings, because I wasn't part of that, and looking at the building now, they're so similar. How close is it in your original vision to what it came out to?
Yeah, it's rare. Usually the renderings look way better than the final product. We've been really fortunate in that the renderings of our projects have all looked pretty much like the final product. So that's been really great. So that when we show people what a building is going to look like, it ends up pretty much looking exactly like that. Yeah. So that's always a good thing. You don't want a rendering that looks terrific and a building that looks so-so. So I think we've been very fortunate to hire some really creative and thoughtful architects, and Koning Eizenberg is one of those for sure.
And you've had a chance to walk around and experience the building. What do you feel like you're in Skid Row when you're in the building?
That's the whole point. That's one of the points about our buildings, is that it is transformative, not just in the way that it looks, but I think how residents feel when they move in. That we flip the script. I think the conventional thinking oftentimes, and unfortunately, has been that homeless people shouldn't live in a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've wanted to change that whole way of thinking to actually introduce to the general public and to our elected leaders and policymakers that supportive housing can look really terrific.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who have been suffering the indignities of living in the worst possible places imaginable, that they actually live in a spectacular looking building like this and many of our others. So, it's really gratifying that the Trust continues to flip that script in the way that it has and the way that it's doing now. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
For the finishing touches on, an idea,
Thank you.
on a concept, but you guys delivered the goods, so.
Thank you.
Sure.
We appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Sydney Kamlager. I'm the senator for the 30th District in California, encompassing parts of downtown LA, including FLOR 401 Lofts. I'm so excited to be here today for the grand opening of this building and to celebrate this special day for our previously unhoused neighbors who are finding a home here. Thanks to the incredible work of Skid Row Housing Trust and their partners, we now have 98 affordable, brand new apartment homes for people who have experienced homelessness. I am honored to represent a district where leaders like the Skid Row Housing Trust, whose dedication to serving our community made this project possible. I believe that we must lead with empathy and act with conviction, especially when it comes to tackling homelessness in our city. This year, I'm actually authoring legislation to expand the use of street medicine to support our unhoused neighbors and to bridge the gap they currently face to equitable health care. AB 369, the Street Medicine Act. Street medicine removes access barriers by providing direct, comprehensive care to our unhoused neighbors outside of the four walls of a traditional health clinic. It allows healthcare professionals to meet these individuals where they reside to provide care, whether that be a shelter, a car, an encampment, or transitional housing. Programs like street medicine increase housing placement and improve health outcomes by facilitating consistent care from providers who witness the unique environmental factors that people experiencing homelessness face. This direct care from people who understand the needs of our unhoused neighbors is exactly what the new residents of FLOR 401 Lofts will find in their new home. We are so grateful for the partnership of Skid Row Housing Trust in our efforts to provide permanent supportive housing to Angelenos in need and for the work they're doing in our communities each and every day. Thank you and welcome home.
Hi, I'm Congressman Jimmy Gomez, and I'm proud to represent California's 34th Congressional District. I would like to congratulate the Skid Row Housing Trust and their partners on the grand opening of the FLOR 401 Lofts in downtown Los Angeles. Permanent supported housing like this one is a big step towards ending homelessness. Thank you to everyone who made this project possible and brought it to life.
Hi, I'm Hilda Solis, Chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. As we continue to navigate through the COVID-19 pandemic, I want to take a moment to recognize the great work and congratulate Skid Row Housing Trust for completing their FLOR 401 Lofts housing project. I know it takes tremendous effort and collaboration to get these projects done. In the 1st District, I'm proud to note that I have over 25 affordable housing developments since my term in office. These developments consist of 1,566 affordable units, of which 682 are complete. Affordable housing is very important to me since I represent some of the neediest residents in LA County. And Los Angeles County, as you know, is facing a severe housing and homelessness crisis. There is a shortfall of nearly 517,000 affordable and available homes to low and extremely low income households. And I'm happy that the FLOR 401 Lofts includes 98 studios for chronically homeless, special needs, and veterans. And I'm also pleased that the project received $1.5 million housing loan from the LA County Development Authority. The County Department of Health Services will be a critical partner in funding the client casework program. Thank you, Lee Raagas, Sierra Atilano of Skid Row Housing Trust for having me join this event and celebrating 98 more units to address our homeless crisis. With more projects like this in our collaborative work, I have no doubt that we can collectively address our homelessness crisis. Thank you.
Hi, Skid Row Housing Trust. My name is Miguel Santiago, and I'm the Assembly Member for downtown Los Angeles and the surrounding communities. And we're excited about your work with FLOR 401, where you've used HHH dollars and made housing possible for our community, where 98 units will go to serve our veterans and our low-income residents with special needs. So congratulations and keep up the hard work.
My name is Alejandro Ruiz, and I live here in 401 Lofts, located in Skid Row in downtown LA. Before I moved in here, I was living in the streets on San Pedro and 4th, and it was a baking parking lot. I knew a guy that was in charge of the parking lot during business hours, and he knew about my story. He knew that I was coming out of jail, prison, and he decided to help me out, not only working there part-time, but also making sure I stay there and having food to eat. Before I got incarcerated, my life was a mess. I was involved with drugs, with gangs. My parents didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to communicate with me. My brother, my sister, they lost contact with me. So all the doors were closed for me. No job, no money. I was just a living mess. In the year 2018, I got mixed up with a couple of people, and it led me to go to prison for a year. And during that term, they were telling me that I qualified to be in this program, Project 180. They had already a plan for me before I got released, my mental treatment. They also had a place for me to do my social classes, my physical classes. Not only that, but they were able to help me out with an apartment within a year and a job. I have worked for Target for around 1 year already, collecting cards. The managers here at the 401 Lofts, they treat me really, really good. And that makes me feel like important, special. But I also have a support system in place. They help me emotionally, stabilize me mentally. My case manager here is Asia. I always talk to her almost every other day. And we talk about 3 goals that I told her I wanted to. One of them being to reconnect with my parents, reconnect with my siblings, the mother of my kids and my kids, because I do have kids. I think it's a beautiful place here, and just for them to see me and to say, oh, that has a home, that's really gonna be a special moment for me in my life.
Hello, my name is Emilio Salas, and I'm the Executive Director for the Los Angeles County Development Authority. We're proud to be a partner in this project and happy to celebrate the grand opening of FLOR 401, a supportive housing project within Los Angeles County Supervisor Holly J. Mitchell's district. The project consists of 98 studio units that will provide supportive housing for homeless veterans, homeless persons living with a mental illness, and individuals with limited means. The LACDA provided $1.5 million in affordable housing trust funds to assist with the construction. Our partnership with Skid Row Housing Trust has resulted in the completion of 12 projects over a span of approximately 20 years. These projects have provided a total of 630 affordable housing units in the city of Los Angeles, with FLOR 401 adding 98 units. Before the pandemic, homelessness in the county was already increasing. The 2020 Greater Los Angeles homeless count revealed that there are over 4,500 homeless persons living in Skid Row, with approximately 44% reported as being unsheltered. This distressing figure represents a 20% increase compared to 2019. Building housing for our homeless populations is critical at this time when the county and the city of Los Angeles are facing an unprecedented crisis, a crisis worsened by the pandemic. FLOR 401 is helping to address this crisis by transforming an underutilized property into safe, decent, and affordable housing. I would like to give a special thank you to our LACDA team within the Housing Investment and Finance Division who helped make this project a reality. It is through financing projects like this that the LACDA can achieve our mission of building better lives and better neighborhoods. Thank you, and congratulations to Skid Row Housing Trust, Supervisor Holly J. Mitchell, Mayor Eric Garcetti, and the other financing and strategic partners on this grand opening.
Hello, I am Carlos Fanata, and I'm the Director of Section 8 at the Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles. On behalf of our President and CEO, Doug Guthrie, and all of HACLA, I would like to congratulate Skid Row Housing Trust on the grand opening of the FLOR 401 Lofts. HACLA is partnering with Skid Row Housing Trust on this project by providing 44 HUD-VASH project-based vouchers. That provides the operating subsidy for the veterans to live in the project, and represents over $12 million in housing assistance payments over the 20-year contract term. The homeless and chronically homeless disabled veterans who will live on site will be provided supportive services there by the VA, Skid Row Housing Trust, and the LA County Department of Health Services. Skid Row Housing Trust is HACLA's largest permanent supportive housing partner. Together, we provide services and housing to over 1,375 clients in 3 different programs and 24 different buildings. Permanent supportive housing is challenging at any time, but no more so during COVID-19. And so we would like to thank Skid Row Housing Trust. Our hats are off to you, and we look forward to welcoming these veterans home. Thank you.
Our financial partners at FLOR 401 Lofts are California Community Reinvestment Corporation for a permanent loan of $4.9 million. Housing and Community VHHP loan for $5.7 million. HCID-LA HHH loan for $11.9 million. HCID-LA home loan for $1 million. Affordable Housing Program loan for $2 million. Los Angeles County Development Housing Authority loan for $1.5 million. California Housing Finance Agency Special Needs Housing Program loan for $500,000. Skid Row Housing Trust General Partner Contribution for $3.4 million. Skid Row Housing Trust Deferred Developer Fee for $1.5 million. National Equity Fund as a limited partner for $18.6 million. And the rental subsidies required to make this housing project possible were HACLA Project-Based Voucher VASH units, Flexible Subsidy Housing Pool, and HACLA COC vouchers. Our key partners in this project are California Community Reinvestment Corporation, California Debt Limit Allocation Committee, California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, Los Angeles County Development Authority, Department of Housing and Community Development, Housing Authority of the City of Los Angeles County Department of Health Services, Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department, California Housing Finance Agency, U.S. Bank, National Equity Fund, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Century Housing, Genesis LA, and Enterprise Community Partners, as well as the Corporation for Supportive Housing.